The average American now shops 2 to 3 times a week without planning it. Not in stores, not on purpose, just scrolling. And here's the part nobody talks about. That wasn't weakness. That wasn't impulse. That was engineering. Today on Why Merrick, we're pulling apart the real psychology behind why Americans cannot stop spending money. And the answer is more disturbing and more fascinating than you're ready for. 8 minutes. By the end, you will never look at your phone or your wallet the same way again. Let's start with the numbers, because the numbers tell a story that should make every American pause. Right now, in 2026, the top 20% of American earners account for nearly 60% of all consumer spending. Nearly 60%. That's from Moody's Analytics. But here's where it gets complicated. A fresh YouGov survey found that only 53% of American adults even have a budget this year. Nearly half the country is navigating rising prices with zero financial roadmap. So if half of America has no budget and inflation has pushed prices dramatically higher than 4 years ago, why are people still spending? That question has 4 answers. 4 forces, psychological, technological, and economic, working together to turn spending from a choice into something that feels almost involuntary. Let's go through them. Layer 1, and this one is deeply human. In psychology, we call it maladaptive coping, behaviors that feel good short-term, but make things significantly worse over time. Researchers published in the American Journal of Psychiatry found that shopping is frequently a mechanism for managing emotions. It provides a temporary sense of control when people feel powerless. And right now, Americans are under serious pressure. Consumer sentiment dropped nearly 13% year over year as of early 2026, per the University of Michigan. Wages, adjusted for inflation, have essentially plateaued. Grocery prices are still significantly higher than 2020. So what do people do? They buy something, maybe a candle, a face serum, a little treat. Because in a world that feels completely out of control, clicking Add to Cart is one of the few moments where you feel like you made a decision. You chose something. You got something. Behavioral researchers call this selective relief. It's documented. It's not a character flaw. It's a psychological response to chronic, sustained economic anxiety. But what if that impulse is being specifically targeted? What if someone has spent billions of dollars figuring out exactly when you're most emotionally vulnerable and engineered a product to appear in front of you at that precise moment? Because they have. And this is where it gets engineered. Layer 2. The shopping finds you. Think about the last time you actually decided to go shopping. Not just clicked something, but sat down and said, I am going to look for something to buy. For a growing number of Americans, that moment barely exists anymore. Algorithms on social platforms have become extraordinary at what researchers call discovery-driven consumption. You're watching a video, just entertainment, and a product slides into your feed. It matches your aesthetic, solves a problem you didn't know you had, recommended by someone who looks exactly like you. AI shopping assistants have taken this further, removing the friction of hesitation entirely. When an algorithm tells you with precision this fits your style, your budget, and what people like you love, the psychological barrier to purchase collapses. And here's the uncomfortable part. It's working exactly as designed. Researchers identified what they call treat math, the mental justification loop, where you cancel one subscription so you reward yourself with a nicer coffee. You skip a concert so you buy a new outfit. Each individual decision feels reasonable, but the cumulative effect is that spending never actually slows down. Now, what if there was a payment system specifically designed to make you feel like that purchase costs less than it actually does? Now it gets dangerous. Buy now, pay later. The data here is striking and a little frightening. A 2026 LendingTree survey found that 41% of BNPL users made a late payment in the past year, up from 34% the year before, 7 points in 12 months. But that's not even the most alarming number. 25% of BNPL users are now using these loans to buy groceries. 1 year ago, that number was 14%. It nearly doubled in 1 year. Imagine making payments on groceries you already ate 3 weeks ago. That one sentence is where the system reveals itself. The Richmond Federal Reserve confirmed total BNPL volume hit $70 billion in 2025, growing 20% per year since 2021. Here's why this matters psychologically. Traditional spending creates friction, a small sting when you part with money that naturally limits how much you buy. Behavioral economists call it the pain of paying. BNPL engineers that pain away entirely. The product arrives, the dopamine hits. The bill comes later, in small, unthreatening installments, so your brain never fully registers the real cost. And according to Motley Fool's research, more than half of BNPL users admit they used it to buy something they otherwise couldn't afford. Over 26% later regretted it once the full cost became real. Now picture all three of these forces operating on you simultaneously. You're stressed from economic pressure, so you buy something small for relief. The algorithm noticed and now serves you targeted products when your stress is highest. BNPL removes the natural financial guardrails, and because long-term goals feel unachievable, you justify it all. Might as well enjoy the present. Every purchase closes the loop. The system learns more about you, gets sharper at targeting you, makes the next purchase even easier than the last. Now, and this matters, this is not an argument that all spending is bad. The data actually shows Americans becoming more intentional in some areas. More people set a budget in 2025 than in 2026. Gen Z is shifting money toward meaningful experiences over passive subscriptions. Awareness is the first circuit breaker. When you understand why you're reaching for your wallet, whether it's genuine desire, emotional coping, or an algorithmic nudge, you get your agency back. But I want to leave you with something bigger than a question about your next purchase. If everything you buy is being predicted, nudged, and optimized by systems that know your stress levels, your aesthetic, your financial ceiling, and your emotional weak points, how many of your decisions are actually yours? Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. This is exactly what Why Merrick exists to do. Not just explain economics or psychology in isolation, but show you how they collide inside the decisions you make every single day. If this shifted something for you, share it with one person who needs to see it. Because the more people who understand this cycle, the harder it becomes to exploit. And if you want to keep seeing the hidden systems shaping your money, your behavior, and your choices, subscribe. This is only the beginning of what we're going to unpack together. I'll see you in the next one.